जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरावनचारी। यमुना तीरावनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Goranitai Jaya Goranitai Goranitai Jaya Goranitai Jaya Radha Shama Sundara Radha Shama Sundara Radhe Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada जय युग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्रीमद् भगवद-गीता की जय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय So we're reading from chapter 13, Nature, then Joy and the Consciousness, text number 14. Sarvatra pāṇi-pādaṁ tat sarvato kṣi-śiro-mukham sarvata śruti-mal loke sarvam āvṛtya tiṣṭhati sarvataḥ pāṇi-pādaṁ tat sarvato kṣi-śiro-mukham sarvataḥ śrutimal loke sarvam āvṛtya tiṣṭhati sarvataḥ pāṇi-pādaṁ tat sarvato kṣi-śiro-mukham sarvataḥ śrutimal loke sarvam āvṛtya tiṣṭhati
sarvataḥ pāṇi-pādaṁ tat sarvato akhilātma-bhūtaḥ sarvataḥ śrutimal loke sarvam āvṛtya tiṣṭhati
sarvataḥ pāṇi-pādaṁ tat
sarvataḥ pāṇi-pādaṁ tat
kṣi-śiro-mukham
kṣi-śiro-mukham
sarvataḥ śrutimal loke
sarvataḥ śrutimal loke
sarvam āvṛtya tiṣṭhati
sarvam āvṛtya tiṣṭhati
sarvataḥ
pāṇi-pādaṁ tat
sarvato akṣi-śiro-mukham
kṣi-śiro-mukham
sarvataḥ śrutimal loke
sarvataḥ śrutimal loke
sarvam āvṛtya tiṣṭhati
sarvam āvṛtya tiṣṭhati
sarvataḥ pāṇi-pādaṁ tat
sarvataḥ pāṇi-pādaṁ tat
sarvataḥ kṣi-śiro-mukham
sarvataḥ śrutimal loke
sarvataḥ śrutimal loke
sarvam āvṛtya tiṣṭhati
sarvam avṛtya
tiṣṭhati.
sarvatā pāṇi-pādaṁ tat
Sarvatā pāṇi-pādaṁ tat.
sarvato kṣi-śiro-mukham
Sarvatā kṣi-śiro-mukham.
sarvatā śrutimal loke
Sarvatā śrutimal loke.
sarvam āvṛtya tiṣṭhati
Sarvam āvṛtya tiṣṭhati. Word by word meaning. Sarvataḥ, everywhere. Pāṇi, hands. Pādam, legs. Tat, that. Sarvataḥ, everywhere. Akṣi, eyes. śiraḥ, heads. Mukham, faces. Sarvataḥ, everywhere. śruti-mat, having ears. Loke, in the world. Sarvam, everything. āvṛtya, covering. tiṣṭhati, exist. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Everywhere are His hands and legs, His eyes, heads and faces, and He has ears everywhere. In this way, the Supersoul exists, pervading everything. Please repeat. Everywhere are His hands and legs, His eyes, heads and faces, and He has ears everywhere. In this way, the Supersoul exists, pervading everything. Purport. As the sun exists, diffusing its unlimited rays, so does the Supersoul or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He exists in His all-pervading form, and in Him exist all the individual living entities, beginning from the first great teacher, Brahma, down to the small ants. There are unlimited heads, legs, hands, and eyes, and unlimited living entities. All are existing in and on the Supersoul. Therefore, the Supersoul is all-pervading. The individual soul, however, cannot say that he has his hands, legs, and eyes everywhere. That is not possible. If he thinks that under ignorance he is not conscious that his hands and legs are diffused all over, but when he attains to proper knowledge, he will come to that stage his thinking is contradictory. This means that the individual soul, having become conditioned by material nature, is not supreme. The Supreme is different from the individual soul. The Supreme Lord can extend His hands without limit. The individual soul cannot. In Bhagavad-gītā, the Lord says that if anyone offers Him a flower or a fruit or a little water, He accepts it. If the Lord is a far distance away, how can He accept things? This is the omnipotence of the Lord. Even though He is situated in His own abode, far, far away from earth, He can extend His hand to accept what anyone offers. That is His potency. In the Brahmā-saṁhitā 5.37 it is stated, goloka eva nivasati akhilātma-bhūtaḥ. Although He is always engaged in pastimes in His transcendental planet, He is all-pervading. The individual soul cannot claim that He is all-pervading. Therefore, this verse describes the Supreme Soul, the Personality of Godhead, not the individual soul. Om ajnānatimirandhasya jnānāñjana-śalākaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve namaha vancha-kalpatarubhyascha kripa-sindhubhyeva cha patidanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna and welcome everyone for this Bhagavad-gītā class. It was announced for His Grace Panchagoda Prabhu, but somehow by Krishna's arrangement I am here today. My name is Vishnunam Das. But we have a wonderful class here. This is on the same verse. Srila Prabhupada gave a class in Mumbai. So I thought I will try to understand more from that, which was given on October 7, 1973 in Juhu, which was one of the very important projects then, because when Srila Prabhupada started the society in India, these were the few projects, Vrindavan, and Juhu, which is Mumbai, and something in Mayapur was started and somewhat in Hyderabad. So in Srila Prabhupada's existence, in my knowledge, these were the 4 projects which initiated in India. So this was in Juhu. And as we understand from the previous verses here of this chapter, verse 8 to 12 talks about knowledge, what constitutes real knowledge. And Prabhupada very strongly emphasized the point that only by doing bhakti, devotional service, we can qualify to be called knowledgeable. Harav bhaktasya kuto mahadguna. There is a verse in Bhagavatam. It will come in the class. So, if one is not a devotee of Krishna, he has no good qualities. Basically, it's in ignorance. Then, after 8 to 12 verse of 13th chapter, then the last verse, 13th, yesterday we would have that talks about Brahman as a spirit soul, which we are. And this verse talks about the Supersoul, which is all-pervading, whose hands, legs, eyes, ears, faces are all over. So, it is very important to understand this aspect of all-pervasiveness of Lord. So, Krishna is very systematically in Bhagavad-gītā has explained about himself. The purpose of Shastra, all the Vedic literatures, Vedesya sarve raham eva vidya, Krishna himself says in Bhagavad-gītā that the purpose of all the Vedas is to know me. So here we hear Krishna himself explaining to his dear friend and devotee Arjuna that who I am, how you can know me, how you can feel my presence every moment of your life, how can you think about me every moment of your life. So Krishna is a very loving personality, as we understand from Bhagavad-gītā, and he is unconditionally kind and merciful to all of us. So he presented this wonderful science of Bhagavad-gītā, wherein we can invest all our intelligence, determination to know about Krishna. That's the whole purpose of reading Bhagavad-gītā or hearing Bhagavad-gītā, chanting Krishna's name, that we start knowing Krishna as a personality, as a person, and not that we want to acquire anything else, but to establish or revive our relationship with Krishna. So this verse reads, everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes and faces, and he hears everything. In this way, the Supersoul exists. So Prabhupada gives a class here. And this is how we started also. We joined many years back in the society and we didn't know how to give class. So somehow we installed Gaura-Nithai deities. You all might be knowing Radha Kund Mataji, she is Srila Prabhupada disciple here in Vrindavan. She used to reside in Ahmedabad then, and I was in Ahmedabad also. So she brought these deities from Vrindavan, very beautiful Gaura-Nithai, which we worship even now, 25 years now, 23 years. And she gave us to worship those deities. And then our spiritual master, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, instructed us that now you have deities, so you should do some program for them, some program of kirtan, because this is the way to worship Gaura-Nithai, by chanting the holy name, by inviting devotees, dadadi, pratigannadi. So we started some weekly program, and because we were very new, like now also, but then we can understand what it was 23 years back. So we used to read Srila Prabhupada's class, and whoever devotees would gather for the evening program, we used to just try to discuss that. So we got trained in that format of reading Srila Prabhupada's class and then speaking that verbatim. And somehow it worked well for us, and we survived for now almost 25 years since then in Krishna consciousness. So it's a very powerful tool to understand the philosophy that just hearing Prabhupada and repeating him. And then if Krishna gives some realization, we can certainly share that too. So this is what I'm going to try to do today. So here Srila Prabhupada is speaking about knowledge, the process of knowledge, which was explained in the previous verses as I already discussed. So he says there are 20 items we have discussed. And the chief is Maya Ananya Yogena Bhaktir Avabhicharini. So the chief item is Bhakti. Ananya Yogena Bhakti Yoga. That is the chief point. Yasyasti Bhakti Bhagavati Akinchana Sarve Gunestatra Samasate Suraha. So now Srila Prabhupada carries on to continue this point of Sura and Asura in the purport, in the class. This is very, very important to understand because I generally have this understanding that Asura means like they were these demons really doing some nasty things and trying to snatch somebody's property or killing someone but now here we understand that anybody who is not trying to understand Krishna is an Asura. Anybody who is not following the instructions of the scripture is an Asura. So as we know also in Kali Yuga, like in the previous ages that Sura and Asura were on different planets, then it came on the same planet and then it came in the same family in Dwapar and now it came in the same body. This is how it become more and more subtler as the age passes by. So now the Sura and Asura is like residing right in me. If I am thinking of Krishna, if I am following the instructions of the Shastra, I qualify in the category of Sura, which is a demigod. But if I am not following the scriptures, then I fall in the category of a Asura, which is a demon. So it's not that segregation is not there visibly visible now, like previous ages in the same family, like Pandavas and Kauravas. They were in the same family. If you go a step behind in Treta Yuga, they were like Ravana was in a different kind of a place, country, and then Ram was a different place. And if you go in previous, like Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, they had different planets to live altogether. So as the ages change, it is becoming more and more subtle. As we understand, it's the same body now. So the weapon to cure the disease also became more and more subtler. So now the weapon is the holy name, the association of devotees, reading the scriptures, taking darshan of their lordships. So this is how I can kill my demoniac propensities and awaken by the mercy and grace of devotees and Krishna the divine qualities. This is what is coming here, that like Prahlad Maharaj, he was a 5-year-old boy. He wanted to chant Krishna's name. That was his only problem, but because his father was upset with that. If you chant Krishna's name, so this is how demons are. Even this class was in Juhu. So now if you do street Sankirtan, the people around by are not happy now. They create it a nuisance now. In many, many places in the world, when you do street Sankirtan, people are getting disturbed about it. So these are the demoniac propensities are increasing in this age also. That for Prahlad, he was a simple boy, but his father became his enemy only because he was chanting Hare Krishna Mahamanta. I'm sure some of us have gone through this stage also when we were young. When we were going to temple, our parents were getting disturbed sometimes, What, you have to go to the temple every day. You might become a sadhu now, you will leave everything. So that was that kind of a tendency of losing out on the son or the daughter getting inclined to Krishna consciousness. So here, Prahlad was also inclined to Krishna consciousness. And similarly, Hiranyakashipu was quite disturbed. So these two classes, Suras and Asuras. Suras means the Vishnu Bhakta, and Asuras means just the opposite. They are Asuras. So if we develop Krishna consciousness, if we develop our love for Krishna, then automatically the qualities of Suras will develop. This is an amazing point which Srila Prabhupada projects at various places in his purports in Bhagavatam and Bhagavad-gītā, that these divine qualities are given by Krishna. All we have to do is perform devotional service. It's not that when I was studying, they taught us, okay, now you have to learn how to present a speech, you should learn how to do, how to become a better manager, So this is the material conditioning. But the spiritual science says that by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, the Dami Buddhi Yogam Tham, we get all the intelligence which is required to perform the services. But our focus should be to intensify the desire to serve the instructions of Guru and Krishna. Then, as we continue the process of Shravan, Kirtan, Smaran, as we know this Nauda Bhakti, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam, then gradually we are being provided, we are being given, as the word used is automatically. It's an automatic process. I don't have to work for it. My only work is to understand that I am servant of the Lord and that I should remain serving devotees and Krishna. That's the process. And once I get fixed up on this process, then the intelligence, just imagine how these beautiful paintings we see, all these initial devotees who joined the movement, they had no clue of Krishna. But just by inspiration, Srila Prabhupada gave them the intelligence. Srila Prabhupada, they manifested in this wonderful Sankirtan pastime, the Sukdev Goswami speaking to Parikshit Maharaj, this class, amazing paintings, who can think of this? Gopis, either Krishna and, the whole world is mesmerized the kind of painting ISKCON has created. And this all manifested as a result of the Dami Buddhi Yogam Tam. The detailing in this, you can feel that you are in Sankirtan. If you observe it minutely, you can feel that you are in that scene. So lively all these paintings are. So this is just one example we can see here in this room, how this principle works, that it is blessed to a soul. So if you develop Krishna consciousness, this I read, sorry. So, but if one is a non-devotee, he cannot have a good qualities. So in other words, non-devotees have no good qualities. So, but we have a habit of appreciating people gaining material achievements. Like Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu conquered all the demigods. So do we appreciate him? Why? Because we think he's a demon. So similarly, all this system of so-called knowledge is a real ignorance in the society, which takes us away from Krishna. So all the mundane achievements which are not engaged in Krishna's service, then it is like ahrava bhakto kuto mahadguna. What is the good quality in the personality then? So it should not be attractive to us devotees. Okay, we are trying to engage everybody in Krishna's service like Srila Prabhupada did. When this Beatles was a very successful kirtan, or not kirtan, but a musical party at that time, and Srila Prabhupada engaged them in glorifying Krishna. So that's fine, but we don't get carried away, okay, now we have to go to watch a musical night, because they are very famous, but it doesn't attract us if it's not Krishna's kirtan. So that has to be very much clear in our mind and consciousness that anybody is not a devotee, we cannot get engaged into those glorifying those such personalities. Devotee means one who is acting on the spiritual platform, and non-devotee means those who are acting on the material platform, either bodily or mental. Now, this is also important point to me, that bodily platform are on the grosser level and on the subtle level. So grosser means earth, water, fire, air, ether, and here it is also written mental platform, which is mind, intelligence and ego. So on these two platforms, this is non-devotees work on this grosser level, gross body and subtle body level, and the devotee works on spiritual platform. This is what Prabhupada is writing here. Bodily platform, they are called karmis. So anybody who is working on the bodily platform, which is gross and subtle, is a karmi. So we will generate karmic reactions if we still are working on bodily platform on a gross level or on a subtle level. It is still a karma. So we have to learn, we have to practice to act on spiritual platform, which is only for Krishna's benefit, only for satisfying Krishna's senses. Atmendriya pritivancha tare nama kham, Krishnendra pritivancha dhare prema nam. So whatever we do for our own sense enjoyment is karma. So on a gross level, on the mental level, whatever level it is. But all the activities we do to serve Krishna, to glorify Krishna, to serve the spiritual master, that becomes on the spiritual platform, and that is not binding us to this material world. So this is the difference between the activity of a demon and a demigod. And this is knowledge. This is what is emphasizing. The point about knowledge is, basically Prabhupada is recapping the previous verses in this particular verse, that the real knowledge is bhakti yoga. That's the point here. Then Prabhupada speaks about Bombay city, that in the Bombay city there are all people who are busy trying to acquire things, but this is all material activities. They are thinking that they will become happy, but nobody can become happy. It is illusion, because by sense gratification we think that we are becoming happy, but the reality is not that. Like we take the simple example of eating something. Oh, I'm hungry now, so somebody offers me some food, I feel happy. But if I'm already full and then somebody brings me, I'm not happy anymore. So it's just a situation which makes me feel happy or unhappy about. That's how we analyze happiness in this on the material level. But spiritual level, Srila Prabhupada says, one who is engaged in devotion is always joyful. So if you are not happy, that means you are not doing bhakti. As simple as that. But by sense gratification we think that we are happy. That is the karmi life on the bodily platform. And the mental platform is little subtle. Like the philosopher, the poet, the scientist, they have their own level of understanding of happiness. So both the bodily platform and mental platform, they are material. Because the body is also matter and the mind is also matter. That is stated in Bhagavad-gītā. So the body is made of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air and sky, and mind is their subtle body, mind, intelligence and ego. So both platform are material platform. Therefore it is said, harav bhaktasya. Those who are not devotees of the Lord, they are not acting on the mental or the gross material platform. They are not working on that platform. They are working on spiritual platform. That's the point. So devotees are working on spiritual platform. Their only object of initiating an action is to please and serve Krishna. Right from the word initiating an action, initiating a thought even. So for example, if I am cooking, then my thought is what I am cooking for Krishna, not that what I want to eat. Now I am hungry, so I want to eat something, I have to eat something. So that still start with an objective of satisfying my senses. So this pure devotional service, the action initiates, the very thought initiates with an idea to serve Krishna. Now this is what I understand from the spiritual platform. Always thinking about pleasing Krishna, nothing else. So good qualities can be attained automatically when you work on spiritual platform. So I am still to experience that what it means to be working on a spiritual platform, but whoever has understood can explain more out in the sharing time in the end when we get. So automatically these good qualities are coming in them. We see people start loving those persons, like Srila Prabhupada, for example. If we analyze Srila Prabhupada's body in a mundane platform, was short in height, somebody might say, no, he was not a very beautiful person, he was not very good in his kind of English language, that was not his first language. Materially analyzing, there can be many perspectives to it. He was not a very rich personality, but he was so attractive. Because that all the divine qualities were there in Srila Prabhupada. And because Krishna is all attractive, Srila Prabhupada was all attractive. This is one example we can relate with what it means by automatically. Krishna gave him all attraction. Anybody who came in touch got attracted. They surrendered their life to Srila Prabhupada. They started serving his words and mission of life. The words and mission of Prabhupada became mission of his followers. This is how we expanded the society in such a short span of 12 years all over the world. So it's an automatic process, but if you work on material platform, means the gross and the mind, then good qualities cannot be attained. Harav bhaktasya kuto mahadguna. Therefore we find that educated persons, so-called educated, they are not educated, because in Bhagavad-gītā it is said, so-called educated persons are bereft of real knowledge. So today something is called as education in the society, but it's Prabhupada using the word so-called because it is killing. It's Prabhupada called them slaughterhouses. It kills the consciousness of a soul, where the soul can think of Krishna, where the soul can depend on Krishna, that consciousness is slaughtered in the current so-called education system. So Prabhupada is using this word so-called education system. And they become like Asuram Bhava, MA, PhD, academic career, but his real knowledge is taken away. So when we acquire this knowledge, what we call knowledge to this world, the real knowledge goes away. We forget Krishna in that system. This is how it is designed. This is how this mundane education system is designed, that we go away from Krishna. Therefore, he is a theist. Actual knowledge is to know God. Therefore, Krishna is explaining what is knowledge, gnayam. But as soon as you become actually wise, then you become liberated. So the moment I understand that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna is the controller, Krishna is the proprietor, Krishna is the enjoyer, that's real knowledge. And then the goal of my life is to serve Krishna, then I am liberated. If my all senses are engaged in serving Krishna, that is liberation. So Krishna says, Gnayam means Mat Param Brahma. In the previous verse it has been explained. Brahma means Bhritaya Mritnayad iti Brahma. Nothing is greater than Brahman. That is being explained. Brahman, what is the meaning of Brahman? Brahman means sarvata pāṇi-pādaṁ. That's the slok now. So Prabhupada came to the slok now in his presentation. Brahman has got his hands and legs everywhere. Just like I have got my hands and legs, this is limited. I have got my hands. Why I cannot stretch 5 feet, only 3 feet? That is also with great difficulty. But Brahman's hand, sarvataḥ, everywhere. Just like Krishna says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. So Krishna says, either a little flower, a little fruit, or a little leaf. Anyone can collect these things. Even if he is the poorest of the poor, then he can also collect a little flower, a little fruit, little water and offer Krishna. My dear Krishna, I wanted to offer you something, but I am so poor, I have nothing to offer. I have collected these 3 things as you have prescribed in Bhagavad-gītā. The real thing is bhakti, but the point is, what Krishna looks for in our offering is love. That's the real thing. He is Atma Rama. He is not hankering for what I am giving, how many items I am making for him. Panch Mahabhut. Everything is Krishna's energy. In one class, Prabhupada says, nothing is matter. Everything is Krishna's, everything is spiritual. But we have to cultivate that vision. We have to cultivate that mindset and mood to engage things in Krishna's service. I might say, oh, this mobile is Krishna's energy, but all the time I am watching something which has nothing to do with Krishna. Then I cannot say that it is Krishna. It is utilizing Krishna. It is illusion then. It becomes illusion. But if I am using it to hear classes, to chant with Srila Prabhupada in the morning, there are nice things, They put Prabhupada japa here. So you just play it and chant with that, it becomes Krishna's energy for us. But if I am using it for watching movies and some political news and all those things, then it becomes Maya's energy. Then I am wasting my time. So it's very, very tough regulation is required. But the real point here is that Krishna is all-pervasive. The way the sun is all-pervasive in his energy of heat and light, similar material energy and spiritual energy, Krishna is all-pervasive. And lastly, Srila Prabhupada emphasized the point of Krishna having a form. So somebody should not conclude that because he is everywhere, so now he has no form. So that's another aspect in this lecture Prabhupada is bringing. So Krishna has his own form. Oh, I can say that, what is this dog? What is this insect? It doesn't have a good form, but it is not about everybody like me. So Krishna has his own form. As we know, this Shastra describes he has two-hand beautiful form, playing flute with a peacock feather, the yellow silken dhoti, and beautiful flower garland with kaustuba on the chest, and curly hairs, and beautiful earrings. Very beautiful descriptions given in the Shastras. It's not a concoction. So Krishna has his own beautiful form, but we are his hands and legs. This doesn't mean that he is universal form. The universal form Arjuna already rejected it in the 11th chapter. I don't want Krishna. This is very fearful to me. Show me your real form. So devotee wants to see real form of Krishna. Playing the flute, grazing the cow. See, there are cows behind him always. With the gopis, he's never alone. So Krishna has a form and a very beautiful form. And once we understand this, then we'll be inspired to surrender to that personality. And then Krishna says that I will take all sinful reactions and give you kṣi-śiro-mukham. I will give you liberation. Just by understanding this, we are liberated. Prabhupada says like, the moment I start working, engaging all my senses in Krishna's service, I am liberated. That's the position of liberation. Liberation doesn't mean that I will die and then go somewhere and then that is moksha. That's not, especially Prabhupada, because what will we do going there? This is what we are going to do there, hearing and chanting. Chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, cooking for Krishna, making garlands for Krishna, distributing Krishna's literature here. So this is what our services are for Krishna. So if we are trained to do that, engaging our sense in serving Krishna, then we become eligible to get admission in the spiritual world. Otherwise, what will we do there? We don't know what's the rule there. To serve Krishna is the rule there. And if I am unable to do it here even, then how will Krishna give me admission there? So Krishna has a form. We should engage our hands and legs in serving Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. So he has got his form, he has got his hands. This is how he eats. Now if you say Krishna in the golok far, far away, how he accepts? So the answer is sarvatra pāṇi-pādaṁ. He has got hands. So he eats through Brahmana. The Brahmana eats, it is understood that Krishna ate also. So this end point is about this, that Krishna is all pervasive, but that does not mean that he loses his individual form also. His individual form also stays as it is. He doesn't lose it, but he is omnipresent, omniscient, and the third word used is omnipotent. These are the three adjectives used to describe God. Ishvara sarva-bhūtānaṁ riddeshe arjuna tiṣṭhati. So he is situated in every form's heart as Paramatma, sitting within the heart of every life form. This is how he is spreaded everywhere. But that does not mean that he loses his form. That does not mean that he cannot eat, he cannot speak. Krishna is very much vocal, is very much communicative. When we chant Hare Krishna, start dancing on our tongue, Radha and Krishna. Prabhupada says this many in his class. So he is very, very responsive to our calls, but we have to become more alert to Krishna's presence in our life. Like yesterday we met one devotee and he said, when I go to worship Radha Govind Mandir deities, and I said, I don't have money. Sometimes Diksha will ask for 200 rupees. And I tell to Krishna, Krishna, I don't have money. How will I pay this money? And then on that day, rickshaw will take only 50 rupees from me. But he's feeling Krishna's presence in his life. That's the point. Somebody might not think about this aspect that Krishna is helping him. So the real point is, all the time, we are present to Krishna's help in our life. That is Krishna consciousness. We should be very, very aware of that aspect. Even something is happening bad, not that only from 200 came to 50 is happy, but even if I lose my service, for example, for something wrong I do, but still I should think that Krishna has arranged, like Parikshit. He got through a whole challenge in the sense that that Brahmana boy cursed him, but he didn't rebel to it. He was looking for Krishna in that why this happened to me, and he accepted it willingly, lovingly, and then finally manifested Bhagavatam. Parikshit and Sukadeva Goswami were hearing Bhagavatam with thousands of sages. So what does he lose in that? So sarvatra pāṇi-pādaṁ, seeing Krishna in every situation, in every devotee, in every species, is real Krishna consciousness. Not that I categorize, oh, he's a good devotee, he's a bad devotee. So then Hiranyakashipu also got delivered, and Ravana also got delivered, and Putana also got delivered. So nobody is going to be left behind here. Krishna's agenda is to take us all back home. So looking for Krishna in every situation is the real call from this shloka in my understanding. So it's 7, only 2 minutes left. I will end it here. Thank you very much for your patience hearing. I'm sure you all came to hear Panchagoda Prabhu, but whatever I could do, but because he instructed me to speak, so I came. So thank you for your patience hearing. All glory to Srila Prabhupada, Bhagavad-gītā ki jai. Any comments, questions? You have 2 minutes. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you for the wonderful class. As you have just quoted the example of the devotee who came to meet you yesterday regarding the uprooting of the trees, that we generally do it very often in our homes. So how do we understand it further?
But a simple understanding, it's killing. Like if an insect is biting me, if I'm killing that, is it allowed or not? It's not allowed. We cannot kill anybody.
If it's an unwanted small...
The unwanted is me. I should think like that. Then I am unwanted in this world. I am spoiling everything here. So then all the problem is solved. If I go from here, then I don't see anything unwanted. Right? It's very subtle, but this is how we are conditioned. It's not your problem. This is how we are trained. This is how we are seeing everybody doing it. But this is not as per the Shastra. Shastra is clearly prohibiting it. It's nowhere in the Shastra. You can read Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 14, text number 9. Srila Prabhupada is writing that we should not uproot in agricultural field. We cannot use pesticides to kill any insects. Even the insects which come on the pest, as they call it now, but pest is a word for insects. So a Shastric word is insect. Pest is not a Shastric word. So we cannot use anything to kill this insect. Because now science has accepted that the insects will only come on the plant when the plant is deficient in the quality to provide good health to the humans. If the plant is healthy for us to consume, insect will not come. That is Krishna's system. But we don't understand that. What we saw is any insect come, kill it. But killing is sinful. We have to go through the karma then. There is no... We read in Bhagavad-gītā, even killing an ant is not acceptable to Krishna. In one Purport, Prabhupada is writing this. Even killing an ant is not acceptable. Because Krishna is there in the heart of the ant also. What is the difference between Krishna's eyes between an ant and me? Tell me that. No difference. For example, this also Prabhupada gave an example in one class that a father is having 10 sons. One is useless like me, not doing anything, not earning any money, and rest are doing really nice things. And one of the sons goes to the father and says, Papa, this Vishnunam is a rascal, he's not doing anything, let's kill him. Is father going to do that? Father will take care of the useless son also. So I might think that that grass is useless, that ant is useless, termite is useless, all kind of things are useless in our understanding. This is the mundane education system. This is what I was talking about in the class. This mundane education has slaughtered our understanding where we can think about Krishna in every situation. All we can think is about my advantage, which is in true sense disadvantageous to my consciousness. It is not even real advantage to my life. It is a disadvantage to my consciousness to surrender to Krishna. Like Radha Kund, Shivji was chanting, right? Shivji? Who was chanting? No, Sanatana Goswami was chanting. And there were a lot of bugs disturbing him. Who was that Goswami? Sanatana Goswami? Radha Kund. And Shivji said, and he was ready to go leave the place. He said, don't go, don't go. And all the bugs disappeared. He didn't kill them. Haridas Thakur, the snake was there, and the villages were disturbed. Oh my God, he might kill the Haridas Thakur, But what did Haridas? Oh, no, I am going. And the next day, snake left. So these acharyas have taught in their life that you cannot kill. But this mundane education is to kill everything. We are designed to kill. That is why we are suffering. Where will we end our life? Just imagine, the new life is already waiting. Whoever kills cows become a cow and then he will be slaughtered. Something like this, mamsa. So if I am killing a grass, I am ready to become a grass next life. That is the law of karma. What's denying in that? Nothing is going to go away from that. If I am killing an insect, I have to become an insect. Somebody will kill me. Laws of karma are very clear. Very, very clear. वो तो है एक Manduka. Remember Manduka Muni? Why so much of tribulation I have to go through? He was put on a needle to die. And because he was killing for Dhritarashtra. Why Dhritarashtra has to go through this difficult life where all his sons were killed in his presence and he has to live a blind life because he did it with some birds. Somebody might say, what's so big thing about the bird? But no. Law of karma, Krishna views all of us. All 84 lakh species with the same vision. We are all part and parcel of Krishna. So that's the wrong education we have taken. What to do? So we have to deeply study Srila Prabhupada books, and then we can understand this by performing this process of devotional service, sincerely in association of devotees serving them. Then this will be revealed to us if you have a desire to live a sinless life. Very much. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.